1973. America was starting to panic. At first, it looked like a normal market dip. But very quickly, everything got out of control. Prices started rising, and money began losing value. The stock market dropped almost by half. People began losing their savings. Banks tightened rules and limited credit. Businesses couldn't cope and started closing. Millions of people lost their jobs. But the real reason ran deeper. It all started with oil and decisions by OPEC countries. Oil supplies were cut. Energy prices skyrocketed. Production became more expensive. Companies weren't making money like before. They had to cut costs and lay off workers. Income dropped and people started spending less. Businesses lost customers and started shutting down. The market responded with falling stocks. Fear spread among investors. Selling accelerated, panic intensified. Stock prices fell even further. Investor mistakes piled up. Money disappeared right before people's eyes. Trust in the market vanished. The system started to break down. And all of this happened fast and almost silently. People were losing money one by one. Few understood how serious it was. A chain reaction of problems collapsed the market completely. At first, it seemed like a normal drop, nothing unusual. People thought the market would recover soon, as it had before. But with each passing day, the situation got worse. Prices kept rising, and the economy began to slow. Companies weren't earning like they used to. They had to cut costs and lay off more people. Income fell, and spending dropped. Businesses lost clients and began closing. And all of this pressed even harder on the market. Stocks kept falling, and fear grew stronger. People stopped thinking logically. Panic took over. They sold everything they had, and in doing so, only sped up the crash. Even experienced investors didn't understand what was happening. Mistakes followed one after another. Money vanished before everyone's eyes. The market was gradually breaking. The entire system started failing. And the strangest part, it all happened almost without a sound. There were no major headlines or warnings. People were just losing money, one after another. Few realized just how serious it was. It wasn't just one hit. It was a chain reaction. One problem triggered the next. And by then, it was impossible to stop. In the end, the market just couldn't hold. And everything collapsed, fast and unexpectedly. And almost nobody realized it in time. Crisis spread across the Middle East. UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Israel were affected. Arab OPEC countries limited oil exports. Saudi Arabia led the oil embargo. UAE supported production cuts. Oil shipments to the West were reduced. The United States faced fuel shortages. Europe struggled with rising energy costs. Israel relied heavily on fuel imports. Threat of energy blockade increased pressure. Arab countries used oil as leverage. Western nations reconsidered Middle East policies. Oil prices skyrocketed worldwide. Japan depended almost entirely on imports. Importers rushed to find new energy sources. Germany introduced strict energy-saving measures. Governments imposed restrictions and controls. Energy dependence made countries vulnerable. Global markets reacted instantly. Political decisions shook the economy. A few countries triggered global shock. Dozens of nations were affected at once. The crisis exposed global dependence on oil. Saudi Arabia controlled major supply flows. OPEC gained massive global influence. The U.S. changed its energy strategy. Europe began diversifying energy sources. Japan invested in efficiency and technology. Israel searched for secure supply routes. Countries realized energy equals power. Dependence could be used as a weapon. Oil became a geopolitical tool. Global balance started to shift. Markets became unstable worldwide. Inflation hit many economies hard. Fuel shortages caused public panic. Long lines formed at gas stations. Industries slowed down production. Economic growth weakened globally. Countries started planning for crises. Strategic reserves became important. Energy security became a priority. Geopolitics became critical to understand. Oil shaped international relations. Global systems proved interconnected. One region affected the entire world. Few decisions impacted millions. Countries learned to adapt quickly. Diversification reduced future risks. Alternative energy gained attention. Governments invested in new solutions. Dependence created vulnerability. Preparation became essential. 1973 became a turning point. Energy policy changed forever. Countries stayed more cautious. Oil remained a powerful tool. Global lessons stayed relevant. Crises could happen suddenly. Planning became a necessity. Resilience became a strategy. Energy shaped the modern world. Few countries could influence many. Resources defined global power. 1973 crisis changed everything.